Welcome back to my channel. In today's tutorial, you will be learning how to cut a classic triangular, graduated bob haircut. This tutorial is an in-depth step-by-step guide to this must-know salon classic. By the end of this tutorial you will understand what triangular graduation is, and why or when you would choose to use it. We map out or zone our haircut with a center parting, working from the top of the crown to the recession on both sides. Working from the recession to the crown on both sides. We now take a vertical profile section from the crown down to the nape. And from the occipital bone we take a forward diagonal section to the back of the ear. We start our haircut with a vertical section. A vertical section gives us control of our graduation from top to bottom. Anything that is elevated below the occipital bone will be graduated, and anything above will be layered. Our distribution or cutting line will determine how soft or heavy our graduation will fall. The higher and closer to the head we will achieve a softer result, and if we cut lower, we will increase the length and weight in the top section, resulting in a heavier shape, with lower graduation. This first section will determine how our graduation will look. I have chosen to cut a soft, subtle graduation. I take my first section directing the hair straight back, and cutting straight out from the head, with my cutting line following my section. The top will only be slightly longer than the bottom section, maintaining soft graduation. Our first section becomes our guide. Our next sections pivot throughout this zone. Pivoting will give us control working side to side, guiding our length from being shorter in the middle to slightly longer behind the ear, building triangular graduation. Working from vertical sectioning, then pivoting towards working forward diagonal. We are able to cut another guide that can help guide your shape, simply cutting a square line in the bottom of the nape. Cutting a square line on a round shape, being the neck or head shape, will result in a square to slightly concave line, creating an increase in length from the nape to behind the ears. So now we have a guide at the top and bottom of each section. Every section throughout this haircut will be directed back, square to your body position, standing square to your client's head. This helps us to increase the length in the sides moving forward. We now take our second section. Taking a fine clean forward diagonal section, we use the same elevation as the first section. Directing the section straight back towards you or the wall behind you, directing straight out from its own base. We now take our third section, removing section 1, and elevating our new guide, section 2, to our new section, section 3. We elevate our previous section as our guide, joining the guide with our new section. Our elevation continues to be directed straight out, from each individual section's base. Connecting our sections to our guides. We continue to remove our previous sections, whilst taking new cutting sections, elevating our guide to every new section. Our cutting elevation mirrors our sectioning, whilst our distribution is directed from the base of each cutting section. When we reach the top of this zone, our sectioning becomes diagonal forward, almost horizontal. You can see here, a beautiful soft build-up of length and weight, working from the center of the occipital bone, and the nape area, lengthening towards the ear. A result of pivoting sections and standing square. We repeat the same process on the opposite side. Body position is still square to the back of the head. Continue to work with fine clean sections, making sure you can clearly see your guide before cutting. Maintaining the same tension with every section before cutting, and paying attention to your elevation. Working with clean sections helps to maintain accuracy throughout your haircut. It's important to maintain even hydration and tension whilst cutting precision haircuts. If you have any questions or requests, let me know in the comments below. Or feel free to direct message me on Instagram at Hair by James Annabelle. This is our last section before moving to the crown area. This is our soft triangular graduation, before cutting our outline into our shape. Before we move to our next zone, it's important to check our balance. Our next section is parallel to our zoning or mapping section, slightly forward diagonal. Close to the horizontal. We take our first section in this zone. The goal here is to seamlessly connect this section into our triangular graduation. Our new guide comes from the section below. With our elevation, we can go high or we can go low. Continuing to follow our guide from the section below. Connecting the crown into our graduation. This zone is one of the most important zones on any bob or pixie haircut. This is where stylists can really create a massive mistake. I'm sure we have all seen plenty of awfully cut stacked bobs, with all sorts of interesting situations happening in the crown area. This section is a deal breaker, whether you achieve a high-end beautiful precision shape or something scary. If you want the weight line to look heavier, go lower. If you would like the weight line to look more seamless, don't go too low. And definitely don't go high, as this will create a step, an obvious line instead of looking fluid and seamless. Everything behind the ear also gets directed straight back to your square body position. Our elevation is our tool that controls our length moving up the head shape. If you find you have created a weight line from cutting to low, you can cross-check vertically. You can always retake this section. Whatever you do, don't make the worst mistake by cutting this section too high, as it may not connect beautifully, and sadly you may need to restart the whole haircut whilst cutting it shorter. Once you feel comfortable with your elevation, we continue this same exact process, using the same elevation and directing every section straight back. Once we reach the hair in front of the ear, we simply take a step forward to slightly reduce the length in front of the ear, creating a softer shape. If you're wanting a more dramatic build-up of length, continue to over-direct this section back to the previous body position. You can see how our triangular shape is building length towards the face. So every section behind the ears follow our original flat guide, and the sections in front of the ears are directed slightly into a forward diagonal by moving our body position forward and slightly adjusting our cutting line whilst connecting into the back section. We continue to keep the same body position and we continue to direct every section back. If you have watched this far into my tutorial, thank you so much. You seriously rock my world. Your views and comments really help to motivate me to continue creating content for you. If you value my work, please show me some love by hitting the like and subscribe buttons. I would really appreciate it. We continue this exact process until we reach the top section. maintaining consistency with your forward diagonal sectioning, elevation, hair direction, and body positions. If you like this tutorial, you should check out my round graduation, pixie haircut tutorial, link above and in the description below. You will notice how we are gradually building length towards the face whilst seamlessly connecting the crown into the nape, creating a beautiful fluid shape. Continue to check your balance throughout the haircut. We now move to our top sections, working from the top of the crown, apex zone to the front, working with a forward diagonal section. Following our sectioning from the previous zone. We continue this process until we have finished the top section. You will notice that the previous haircut had square layers in the top section. In this situation, connect the lengths that can be connected, and educate your client that they will have some texture and movement in their shape, until this section grows out. This is something you should check, and discuss in your consultation. We now prepare the hair for personalizing, refining, and cutting the outline of our haircut shape. We prepare the hair by wrap drying into natural fall. This process dries the hair with low or no manipulation, allowing the hair to fall naturally, which ensures our line is cut perfectly. Now the hair is dry, it's important to assess the haircut and decide on how you are going to approach your line. The previous layers are long enough to blend into the shape. If we didn't have these layers, the shape through the front and outline would look a lot stronger. The layers will create texture and movement. We do have a few options. We could choose to increase the triangular shape by cutting a square or round line in the nape and cutting a triangular line in the front. When cutting haircuts, we have the freedom to use multiple shapes to create a beautiful shape. Once you understand how, when and why we choose to use different shapes, your haircuts will only continue to evolve into amazing advanced shapes. I section the front or fringe section with sectioning clips at the recession of the hairline. This helps to connect this section into the sides whilst retaining length. I am going to cut this side with a curved line, and this side with a round line, so you can see the difference. You could also cut your line square. I start my refining by taking my scissors and positioning them whilst using my opposite hand to guide my cutting line. Be sure of your cutting angle before cutting. We now club cut from this point, working back towards the ear. We do the same exact process on both sides. I also use a point cutting process to remove any unwanted graduation whilst softening the line. We now move to the back section. I will be cutting this side with a curved line. I start in the center back with club cutting, working up towards the ear. I work with small sections, moving my cutting line and body position around the head shape. Make sure your body position is eye level to your cutting line. This is really important to working or cutting accurately. Continue to assess your work from different angles to refine your outline with precision. Working from the back forward and the forward back will help you to cut your curved line. We repeat the same process on the opposite side. So in this haircut, our internal shape is triangular graduation, with a subtle concave, triangular line in the front, connecting into a round or curved line in the back. In the back section, I simply follow the hairline, connecting into the triangular line in the front. The back can be cut square, round, curved to complete this shape. We continue to refine the line with the same exact process as the opposite side. Who else loves this triangular shape? Let me know in the comments below if you have a favorite style of graduation. This is classic seamless graduation. This is my classic triangular graduated bob, a haircut that stands the test of time. It's a timeless classic that you need to master if you are serious about your career cutting hair. Stay tuned for my next tutorial, square graduation, and if you haven't already, check out my round graduation tutorial. Thanks again for watching.